In this video, I'll be demonstrating how I create one of my pendants out of precious metal clay. First, I open a new package of clay. I unwrap it and cut off the piece that I'm going to use. Then I make sure that the rest of the clay is wrapped securely and put back into the package. I ball up my clay and then roll it out using playing cards as depth guides. Next, I take a stamp I have created and brush it with a bit of olive oil so the clay will release. Then I raise the depth of my guides and use a plexiglass plate to evenly impress my image. Then I carefully lift up the stamp and cut out the image. At this point, I can even up the edges. Next, I carve sections out to achieve negative space. Then I flip the piece over and stamp my logo into it. Then I flip it back over and lay it on a rounded form so it will dry in a curved shape. Once it is dry, I can take a nail file and refine the edges. Sanding pads and a needle file will refine the rest of the piece. Then I add a bit of detail to the back. I begin preparing to set the stone. I drill all the way through the piece. Then I use a stone setting burr to create a seat for my stone. I add a bit of water and place the stone in the seat. Next, I roll out a new piece of clay to create the bail. I lift the bail and lay it over a straw before attaching it to the piece. To create a bond between the piece and the bail, I wet them both before attaching. I work the clay until it grips and make sure everything is aligned. Once the piece is completely dry, I set it on a bed of vermiculite in a crucible in the kiln. The kiln fires at 1650 degrees for 30 minutes. Watch it shrink as the particles sinter together. Once the piece is cooled, I can remove it from the kiln. Now we move into the finishing stages. First, I burnish the piece in soapy water with a steel brush. Then I use an agate burnisher to brighten the silver. Next, the piece goes into a liver of sulfur mixture and is dipped until I achieve the color I want. Once that happens, I neutralize the liver of sulfur acid in a baking soda and water bath. Finally, I polish the raised areas of the piece with a polishing pad. And there you have the finished piece.